Hello, 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 and thank you for joining me for another Nene moment. Well, today, what I would like to talk about is something that has been on my mind, excuse me, and in my spirit. And today, the scripture, Psalms 4:12. I know both how to be abased and abound. Everywhere and in all things I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to be abound and to suffer. When I read that scripture, it reminded me of a prayer that I enjoy so much, and it helps keep me present. The Serenity Prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Um, so many times in life, we seek after things that we do not have, and we desire things from other people that we cannot control. And that is where a lot of our anxiety and our heartache and our pain come from, because we try to take on things that are not ours. In the scripture where it says, I am instructed to be full. I'm instructed to be full. What that means to me, can't say what it means to anyone else, but what it means to me is just simply being full in what you have been given in life. Okay? What you have been given in life, whatever is not there was not supposed to be there. You were full and you were whole without whatever was missing. Um, but to be hungry to go after the things that you can't control. So if you have dreams and desires that you can go after, you can educate yourself a little bit more, or you can network with people to build on the vision that you have. Those are things that are in your control. But when we are seeking after things that have not been in our life, and we feel like something is missing in our life, that is because the world, I feel, sets it up in certain situations or make us feel as though we need to compare our lives to someone else's life. And so when we may not have a father or something like that in our life, we tend to like, dang, what am I missing? If he was in my life, then, I would know this and I would know that. Well, I thank God for the provision that He has put in my life. Me not having a father, my stepfather that was there in my life, and then my biological father that I just got in touch with here recently. But then that chapter is now closed, and that's the reason why I say God knows best. If someone is not in your life, they're not in your life for a reason. And if you sit and you try to push or force something to be, then God will the whole situation will reveal itself to you as to why that person was not there. Especially if you trust the people who raised you. I trust my mother to make the best decision for me. That's the reason why after she passed away and I found out that my stepfather was not my biological father, I didn't even really feel a certain type of way about it, because I always know my mother to make choices that was best for me. And so, anyway, my sister, found my biological father. Me and him communicated over the phone a couple of times. One thing I don't like is inconsistencies, and I don't feel like that I'm putting in more work than someone else. And so, instead of me opening up a chapter of rejection, hurt, and pain, I just rather dismiss it, because a person will show you who they are, and when they show you who they are, believe them. And so, after 40 years of him not being there, I realized that God made provisions for me to be okay, because I didn't miss anything. I say that because I was covered by 4 strong women, and each of them played a different part in my life. And I was going to put it into a story and things like that, but hey, my Nene Moments is about Nene and her perspective on things. And so God blessed me with 4 beautiful women in my life. And my mother was my head, and she was everything, spiritual, physical, mental, all that. She covered in those areas to where I didn't feel the need or miss a father. Then I had an older sister who, 3 other sisters that was dominant in their own areas. I had one that I can always go to that's going to, challenge me to see God a little bit more, or ask me questions, or, give me that gentle correction. Then I have another one who's going to teach me to be strong and be a warrior at all costs, to where I am independent and not dependent, and I can stand and protect myself. Then I have another one that will protect me at all costs, shoot them up, bang, bang. you know, and so, and that's how I've been my whole life. I always had them. So they covered me on all areas to where I didn't feel like I missed out on anything. And like in a previous video, you would hear me talk about, well, it was a video that I said thank you to my father, my stepfather, but he was my daddy at that time. He's still my daddy. But, I had told him thank you, for not really being there in our life and just coming in and out to check on us to make sure that we were okay. And what I, said in the video is that he taught us how to walk away from things that don't feel good. And so since he knew he could not provide for us the things that we were supposed to have, he stayed away, and I honored him for that. And so I honor anyone who stay away from me for that, because if you were meant to be in my life, then you would be in my life to play the part that you are supposed to be, and the same thing vice versa. If I'm supposed to be in your life to play the part that I'm supposed to be, I would be in your life. But if I'm not, then that's, it's all at the appointed time. Everything at the appointed time, period, point blank. If it's not meant to be, then guess what? It was not. The only way we're going to get hurt and pain is if we seek after something that was not it. But one thing that I did think that was cute from the little interaction that I did have with my biological father is, when we would talk and things like that, and he would tell me stories about his mother, I realized, a lot of the things, kind of tied, related to me or made me feel like, wow, that's where I get that from. You know what I'm saying? But it's nothing that I want to include in my life. You know what I'm saying? Just to know that, hey, I got people out there that act just like me. I thought I had. Nah.